For the Rebel.media, I'm Ezra Levant. As you can see from the port behind me, I'm in Halifax, Nova Scotia. I'm here to cover the Conservative Party convention. And before we even landed, oh my God, was the news of the day set. Maxime Bernier, who lost the leadership 15 months ago to Andrew Scheer by just a point or so, quit the party in a press conference in Ottawa today. Here, take a quick look at that.
If we want conservative principles to win the battle of ideas, we have to defend them openly, with passion and with conviction. That is what I want to do. And this is why, as of today, I'm no longer a member of the Conservative Party of Canada. I want to do politics differently. I will find another way to give a voice to millions of Canadians. And I will continue to fight for freedom, responsibility, fairness, and respect. Merci.
Now, Maxime Bernier was becoming quite a handful for Andrew Scheer over the past week or so. In a series of tweets, he started expressing party policy, or at least a version of party policy, in a way that was tantalizing, riveting, fascinating, upsetting to some, especially the liberal media. He challenged Justin Trudeau's bromides about diversity is our strength. He challenged immigration and multiculturalism, sacred cows. He even took on the CBC in my favorite tweet. He called the CBC fake news, and he called out Rosemary Barton, their lead political reporter, as despicable. Well, this was very exciting, leading to an exciting convention because, of course, Andrew Scheer and Maxime Bernier weren't just personal rivals, they were policy rivals on the key issue of supply management, which is a fancy way of saying high tariffs to protect Quebec dairy farmers. It's actually not a key issue. It's not an important issue, certainly not for Conservatives, but Andrew Scheer made a deal with the devil. He basically said to Quebec dairy farmers, if you put me over the top in my leadership, I'll reward you, and indeed they did, and so did he. What's fascinating is that Bernier didn't just quit the party. He quit the party and said he would be creating his new party. I suppose the first big headline out of this convention is Stephen Harper united the right and Maxime Bernier divided the right, but I'm not going to put all of it on Maxime Bernier. Because as I mentioned, the leadership race for the Conservative Party happened 15 months ago and isn't the first job of any winner in a political coalition to get the other, the second, the third, the fourth place contenders to be part of the new coalition, give them a prominent job. That's what Stephen Harper did when he took over a fractured Canadian Alliance party. He first brought back the rebel caucus of Chuck Strahl and Deborah Gray and others. He unified them, and then he reached out to Peter MacKay of the Conservative Party and gave him a very prominent position. So you reach out to the people you defeat and you bring them in. 15 months Andrew Scheer had that task, and he didn't do it. Isn't that the most important job of a winner in an election race? Ask Jean Chrétien. That's what he did with Paul Martin. Paul Martin was a handful, just like Maxime Bernier was a handful. One of the most shocking things I heard today at Maxime Bernier's press conference was that Andrew Scheer hadn't even talked to him for 9 days. And I mean, that sounds like a needy demand. Well, how come he's not talking to me? Well, in those past 9 days, Maxime Bernier was digging up all sorts of political backyards. And for Andrew Scheer to have a hands-off approach like that is absurd. And as I said on my show on Wednesday night, how difficult would it have been for Andrew Scheer to co-opt or compromise with Maxime Bernier? It probably would have meant giving up on the dairy cartel. But that's the right thing to do anyways. It's probably going to happen in the NAFTA deal anyways. Is that really such an awful compromise that this result is preferred? And that's the thing. What deal with Maxime Bernier could Andrew Scheer have come to? What compromise, what baubles could he have thrown to Maxime Bernier? Make him the co-leader in Quebec, give him his dairy cartel win. None of those compromises would have been as damaging to the party or Andrew Scheer as driving Maxime Bernier out. Now, let me say a word about Bernier. I enjoyed his tweets over the past couple of weeks. I thought he was a very clear communicator, and frankly, I thought he wasn't deviating too far from party policy to be an actual problem. He was just clarifying and sharpening it. I liked the fact that he was attacking the media party. But why would he quit? Why would he quit in a huff and split the right? Why didn't he continue on what he was doing? He was already having a salutary effect on the party. He already caused Andrew Scheer himself to do a series of tweets firming up in the face of Justin Trudeau. He already caused Michelle Rempel, the party's official immigration critic, to have a press conference seeming to firm up her position. Maxime Bernier, in a few short weeks, was already changing the party from within. He had, remember, 49% of the party behind him 15 months ago. Probably 49% of the people at the Halifax Convention are Bernier supporters. And frankly, if his goal was to be thrown out anyways, why not see how far he could push it from within? Why not see what changes he could get from within? Working the convention, working the votes, working the delegates. Why split away? And there's no chance that Maxime Bernier and his new party will be the prime minister. There's no chance at all. I like Maxime Bernier, in case it's not evident. But what has he done here? I think both Andrew Scheer and Maxime Bernier, their squabble, their quarrel after 15 months, I think that they have scotched the chances of the party to win. Now, Andrew Scheer was doing poorly in the polls. There's no reason he shouldn't be leading. Justin Trudeau has had a disastrous year, from his India dancing trip to the NAFTA fiasco to his grope gate. There's so many reasons Justin Trudeau should be behind in the polls. Look at Doug Ford. He just won. Jason Kenney's about to win in the West. Why is Andrew Scheer behind in the polls? But I still think there was a chance he would have won. But if Maxime Bernier does, in fact, start up his new party, I believe that's enough to shave 10% of the vote in key ridings and deny the Conservatives a majority. That is a disastrous result, and I place it on the heads of both Andrew Scheer and Maxime Bernier. On Andrew Scheer for not being the kind of leader that Jean Chrétien was, for not co-opting and cementing close to him his rival, as Jean Chrétien did to Paul Martin. I blame Maxime Bernier for not fighting within the party architecture, within the party constitution, within the party convention that starts today. Why did he not even come to try? I blame him for running off at the first whiff of gunpowder instead of digging in. He was already having an effect. I think these two leaders are much smaller today. And although the party's putting on a brave face, I think they know that even the perception of this splitism, of this civil war, is going to immediately knock them down several points in the polls. I don't want to harp on the fact that Andrew Scheer, in a fit of pique, has banned The Rebel, the only conservative media outlet in Canada, from actually attending the convention. It's obviously not going to stop us from doing our job. But it makes me think, perhaps if he was focused on the grander aspects of his strategy, of locking in the Bernier wing of the party and maybe deploying Bernier to actually help him win in Quebec, he was following rabbit tracks, chasing rabbit tracks instead of big game. I'm not saying it's impossible to turn it around, but as of this point, I think the chances of a Conservative victory in 2019 are lower than they have been in a year. And frankly, I think it falls to us here at The Rebel to work even harder to promote the Conservative view of things, to criticize both the Conservative Party and the Liberal Party, but the Conservative Party too when it falls down and doesn't live up to the expectations of Conservative Canadians. We'll have more reports from you in the days ahead. Sheila Gunn-Reid is here as well. We have two staffers. As you can see, we're traveling low budget. We're literally staying in an Airbnb room instead of in a hotel. We flew here economically. If you can help chip in to the cost of our trip, please do go to letusreport.com. Sign the petition that we're going to try to deliver to Andrew Scheer. And if you want to help cover the cost of our rooms and our flights, you can do that so at letusreport.com. We'll have more to say in the days ahead, and hopefully we'll have some good news. But the headline today is, the party is divided. For the Rebel.media, I'm Ezra Levant. We're here for the next 2 days at the Conservative Convention, giving you the only reliable reports on what's going on. I mean, what are you going to do? Trust the CBC? Keep it here at the Rebel.media.